What is up, guys? Codebro29 is back with a brand new video. Today, we are doing part 2 to our beginner scripting series in 2021. Today, we're going to be having a look at variables. So this is a very exciting part, is what I'm trying to say. So make sure that you watch all the way to the end because this one is very vital if you want to make a Roblox game. So in our last part, we looked at printing, right? We printed in the console and we learned how to rename things. And in this episode, we are going to be learning about variables. So what are variables? Let's start off with that. Well, I like to think of variables as boxes, like storage boxes. And when you name the box and you say what's inside of the box, okay? So if we wrote in our code, local what time is it equals 2 o'clock as a string, so with quotation marks, that would be like the same as telling this box called what time is it that it is 2 o'clock. We're putting 2 o'clock inside of the box. So our computer now knows until we change that whenever we say what time is it, we're talking about 2 o'clock, okay? So let's dive into our variables lesson. Yeah, I guess it's a lesson. So we're going to hit this plus icon in server script service and we're going to insert a script. We're going to do a new one for our variables. I'll call this script variable script. Alright, so now I'm going to say local, and this can be whatever you want, but just for now, remember to always have local before you have a variable. We'll get into that maybe in a future episode, maybe not. Just for now, just remember, if you ever want a variable, just write local, okay? So I'm going to say local. This can be whatever you want it to be called. Like, I don't know, it could even be, it could be local codebro29 equals, and then we could put the link in here, right, if we wanted to. But for now, I'm going to stick with our time of day, or what time is it? Local what time, and it all has to be one word. So that's the thing. You can't write what time is it, because that will really confuse the computer. It does not know what it's doing. But if we wrote what time is it like that, then it knows what it's doing. So I'm going to set the time currently to 10 o'clock. So, for forever and ever, our computer knows that the time is 10 o'clock until we change that. So now, what do you think would happen if we said print, what time is it? You can type that in on your code and test it with the console, or output. Sorry, it's called the console in JavaScript, so I get mixed up. But test it on the output if you want, or see if you can get it before testing it out. And pause the video right now, and let's see if you got the right answer. If you said the output is going to print 10 o'clock, then great job. If you didn't, that's okay. If you thought that maybe it would print what time is it like this, the reason that it didn't is because this wasn't a string. If we had put quotation marks around this whole thing, like that, then it would have printed what time is it in the output. But because we didn't have quotation marks, because we just did that, it knew we were talking about this variable, okay? So that's really helpful. And now let's use, we can use what we used last time. Remember the little, wait, right? I'm going to use wait 3 again, so it's going to wait 3 seconds before doing anything else. And now I'm going to set what time is it is equal to 10:01, okay? So the way this is working is it is saying the reason we don't need a local anymore is because we've already defined what time is it. It's already been made. When you first make it, yes, you need to say local. But after you've made it, you do not have to say local anymore. You just can say what time is it. And now, let's print what time is it. Alright, so after that, what do you think is going to happen? Well, if you want to pause the video again, go for it. If not, if you just want to learn, then cool, that's cool too. So we obviously defined what time it is up here. It's 10 o'clock currently, and we printed it as 10 o'clock. Then we waited 3 seconds, and now it's set what time is it to 10:01. So when we print what time is it again, it's going to print 10:01 instead. We don't have to make a separate variable called like local what time is it now, because we can just change what time is it. That's what's so useful, because these storage boxes, if we want to, we can just take what we already have completely out and then just replace it with something. So that's what's so helpful with variables, and we'll get into how helpful that can be with debugging later, but I want to do some more things with variables. So we can go ahead and leave all this code. I'm going to drop quite a few lines, and yeah, let's get into some more variables. So we can set variables to whatever we want. So I'm just going to say we're going to go over the 4 data types, okay? So the 4 data types are string, int, bool, and oh gosh. For right now, I'm sorry, not 4. We're going to go over these 3, okay? String, int, and bool. That's all we're going to go over right now. So I'm going to say local, actually, I'm just going to have it up on the screen. So what is a bool? Let's go over each of them individually. A bool is true or false. That is what a bool is. Basically, yes or no, true or false. And this can be very helpful, because if we want to say, if we have a round-based game, we can say something like local game is playing equals true. Because yes, the game has started. Maybe the game hasn't started yet, so it's set to false. Basically, bools are yes or no. So these can be very helpful when we get into if statements later. But for now, let's go ahead and set a wait 3 again so you guys can see this in action. So let's say local game is playing is equal to true, because we've already started the game. So when we play this game, when we look at the output, hello world, 10 o'clock, hello world, blah, 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 sorry, 10:01, and we have, where is our true? Uh-oh. I think I messed something up. Sorry, guys. I didn't even print it. Wow, that was really not smart of me. Print game is playing. There you go. That wasn't very smart. Alright, so now I'm going to play it. And now we should see true printed in the console. But not just like a string like we have here. It is a true or false, yes or no. See, we have true. But it's not as a string, which is a huge, huge difference. There is a huge difference in saying game is playing equals true, and game is playing is equal to true. That is a huge difference. And now for right now and for always, I feel like if you're going to use true and false, just use a bool, just without the quotation marks. So those are bools, true or false, yes or no. Now let's get into strings. We've already covered this a little bit with our what time is it up here, but I'm going to go ahead and give you another example. I'm going to say local food is equal to, you can put whatever your favorite food is in here. For right now, I don't know if this is my favorite food or not, but I'm just going to set it to burger. We can just say print food. Now, what do you think will print in the console? Well, if you said burger, then fantastic. If you said food, that's okay. You'll get it eventually. But the reason we can do this is because we have quotation marks. That's what makes it a string, and that's what also makes it not an error. If we had just typed in burger, then the code thinks that burger is another variable, okay? But we want burger to be a string, right? We want it to know, okay, we're talking about a burger. That is the food. So if we go into our game and play, we see, oh Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I have a lot of errors in the console. Burger. So that's strings. So we've gone over strings and bools. I'm gonna just say local game is playing equals true. So we have this set up. All right. The last thing for today are ints or integers. What is an integer, you may ask? So integers are a number from 0 to infinite. Actually, it doesn't even have to be from 0 to infinite. It's just a number. It can be a decimal. It cannot be a decimal. It does not matter. So what if we said local global population equals, oh gosh, test me on my, actually, I'm going to do something else. I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody look it up. Drop it in my group wall. Link will be in the description. So we're going to say local instead. Let's just say, I know. We will say, or I don't know. Local items in game. Local houses on street is equal to 10. So let's do that one. So there are, how many houses are in the street? 10. So if we, what is the difference now between saying local houses, houses on street equals to 10? Well, there's, again, like the bools, there's a huge difference with this. Because when we do our if statements, if we want to say, we'll get into this later, but basically, if you are dealing with a number, just don't do it in a string for now. You may end up doing this later with a string, but for now, just don't. I have messed it up so bad when I accidentally set something to a string. I was debugging for days because I accidentally set it to a string and not an integer, which was stupid. But, yes. Just do numbers right now, because that's what we're going to be working with. Now I'm just going to say print houses on street. And I'm going to go ahead and play. And once we look at the console, after a little bit, it'll say 10. All right? So those are the 3 different variable types that I'm going to go over today. So that's pretty much it for the variables, but please feel free to mess around with them, change them throughout the course of your code. Don't leave them as they are, but learn by changing them, because soon we'll get into referencing variables. Maybe we want to say local drop part is this part right here. Maybe we want to set it literally to this part in our game. Maybe that's what we want to do. So later on we'll get into that, and that is something that's really important with games. So if you found this video useful, please smash that subscribe button. I really hope this was just helpful for you guys. Scripting is so worth it if you just put the time and effort into it, and it gets easier as you go. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to stay tuned for the next video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell, because I'm having these videos coming out really frequently. That's it for now, but yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.